Let's tell you about developments in Moqhaka Municipality in the Free State. Calm has been restored there. Earlier on, residents took to the streets demanding service delivery. This includes water provision, load-shedding infrastructure problems and unemployment. We speak now to the municipality spokesperson, Dika Kheswa. Thank you very much for availing yourself this afternoon. What happened?
No, thank you very much and good afternoon. Yes, we can confirm that there was a march. However, we have since received the memorandum. The executive mayor received the memorandum. Top of the agenda on the memorandum was the issue of the provision of water. And secondly was the issue of residential sites and the 60-40 electricity ratio. Let me touch mainly on this issue of water provision. For the past 2-3 weeks, the municipality has experienced a shortage of water supply in the township of Moqhaka and other areas like your Stainsrace and Jones Road. But the area that was mostly affected, it was Moqhaka, and this was due to the unprecedented levels of load shedding from stage 4 and stage 6. And you would know better that during load shedding, we were unable to pump water as our pump stations and water treatment plant relies mainly on electricity to pump water. We have since made an application to Eskom for an exemption or self-load shedding. We are currently doing self-load shedding, and we are able to isolate the water treatment plant, the reservoirs and the pump stations. And I can confirm that since Friday up until today, there's a huge improvement around the issue of water provision. 80-90% of the township of Moqhaka is currently having water. We're using the system of water tankering, which was quite expensive for the municipality up until we were granted the exemption from Eskom. And on the issue of the 60-40 electricity ratio, residents seems not to be happy with that formula that we are using, because the 60-40 ratio only applies to residents whom their accounts are 30 days in arrears, and there are no payment plans in place whereby when you were to purchase electricity for 100 rand, you would get 60 rand electricity, and then 40 rand would go to your arrears. So basically, those were some of the issues that are contained into the memorandum, the issue of SME development, the job creation, and local economic development. And we have we will respond to the memorandum in a space of 7 days.
It would appear, sir, with the very limited understanding that I do have, because we're yet to speak to residents, that these are some long-standing issues, especially when you take a look at the issue of employment, because they're also looking for youth development programs to be put in place. On your point of the water being restored and blaming it on Eskom, the water tankering situation, it seems also like it's a temporary solution. What is the long-term solution to have people get taps in their yards that they can open and use?
Well, definitely. I mean, this one of the self-load shedding or isolated the treatment plant is a temporary measure, but we are looking into purchasing some generators mainly on our water treatment plant and the reservoirs. But I mean, they do not come cheap. They come quite expensive. So at least we are one step ahead in terms of isolating those plants. During load shedding, those plants still goes on. So it is one step in a good direction, but we are looking at in purchasing or procuring some generators which are quite expensive, but it's a long-term plan.
What about the issue of potholes? Because residents are also putting that down to road safety.
Well, the aging infrastructure, it is the issue of the aging infrastructure, and that means we need to improve on our maintenance plan and the maintenance budget, because you know some of the roads were tarred long back, more than 20-30 years back, and I mean their time to age is now, but we need to up the game as the municipality in terms of the budgetary process and the planning process, and how do we still maintain those roads, because it is a good thing to have a road today, but if we are unable to maintain that road, it is as good as nothing. So we'll be looking at other measures as to how do we build new roads, like your paving roads, which are lasting quite some time more than the tarred roads. So we would be improving on our maintenance plan regarding these roads, and we're still building new roads in different areas. I think we've got 2 new roads in the past financial year in Ramulusi. We have got a 1.4 kilometer road that we have built here in Kokwe village. But yes, indeed, we still need to improve on the maintenance plan on our infrastructure, not only roads, but including your bulk water and sanitation infrastructure.
And residential sites?
The residential sites, yes, we're having a backlog of about 20,000 people who have registered for residential sites as per the housing analysis register. But as the municipality, we are having close to 5,900 residential sites that are available. But those sites, the problem is that they are not yet serviced, and it would not be proper to put the residents on unserviced sites, which are coming at a very huge cost. We have made a plea to the Human Settlement Provincial Government Department to say how best can they assist in terms of installation of the bulk water and electricity, water and sanitation in those 5,900 sites so that we are able to move the residents there. But for now, I'm unable to confirm as to when will that happen. In the process, we have reticulated more than 250 residential sites where we have since moved the residents in those sites. That is as per the internal funding of the municipality.
Given that these are long-standing issues, yes, you will give residents an answer in about 7 days' time, but you've mentioned a number of issues, including budget, including having to work with other stakeholders to make things happen. Are you able maybe to tell us this afternoon that in 6 months' time, there will be water provision in each and every single household? In 8 months' time, something else will be ticked off the list. No doubt, people had to get to a point where they took to the streets and blocked roads in frustration. It doesn't have to get here. Do you agree?
No, definitely. It's quite difficult because, all these matters vary from case to case because they are different in nature. Around the issue of water, yes, indeed, there are areas which are predominantly being problematic, historically problematic, which are not receiving water quite good. We are having a tender to improve on that around the area of Kumulong. The tender is out, and I think we will be able to improve on the infrastructure. But the issue of water again and the sanitation, we are operating with a very aging infrastructure, and it's quite difficult to reticulate the entire infrastructure of the municipality from the asbestos pipes to the PVC, but we change those pipes as in when they are best pipes. And on certain areas, you'd find that there are normal operational issues, like your best pipe, which will take a day or two to be fixed and water be restored. But there are some areas that we know for a fact that they've been problematic for quite some time. But seated here, it will be quite difficult to highlight on all of those issues because they are different in nature.
Moqhaka Municipality spokesperson Dika Kheswa, thank you very much, sir, for your time.